I'm Ross Evans. I'm founder and CEO of Xtracycle, and I wear a lot of hats. I like to say I'm the progenitor, but also the pro-janitor, so cleaning up the messes and doing the design as well as setting up the company for success.
So what's going on with Xtracycle and e-bikes? Like, what's the state of Xtracycle and e-bikes? They've always kind of been good together.
Yeah, so I always like to say, the chocolate and peanut butter is the cargo plus electric. They're just better together. Once you have the ability to carry stuff on a bike, then you have the ability to go anywhere with an e-bike, and that's kind of what we're aiming for here. What we've got is, in particular, the Bosch bikes. This year we have the 8E and the 10E. We also, last year we showed the 9E. That was a little bit different spec. So the cool thing about the 8E is it still gets all the advantages of a Bosch motor, but it's a little bit lower spec. So the entry point is about $5,000, $499. And it comes with the bags for that price, so it's a pretty awesome setup. It's important to kind of obviously keep an eye on what parts a bike comes with, and that's in the price. So that's that. The thing that I'm showing with the 10E, you can see it's got some nice parts on it and everything. It's a super nice build. But the thing that I'm kind of most excited to show you today is actually the Porter Rack and the Porter Pack, because we launched these products with the Bosch Edgerunner 10E. So I'm going to show you real quick how this works. First and foremost, it starts with the Porter Rack. So I'm going to take the bag off. This is called the Porter Pack, and when I take it off, you'll see kind of how that works. So starting off, what we've got in the Porter Rack is obviously a frame-mounted system, but the thing that people often don't recognize is the differences. So I went out on the market and looked at everything that was out there and realized that there are a couple of really important things to do. One was to have open sides. So I really wanted this to have an open side, so you were not limited. If you look over there, you'll see there's a speaker mounted on there. It's about at the max weight that you would ever want to carry on the front of the bike. Obviously, you start to get handled. We have actually sat people on there just as a sort of a fun, jesting thing, but we don't try this at home. That was a stunt rider, of course. But the goal here was to make it as rigid and stiff as possible, because anything that moves in the front is going to affect the handling of the bike. So what we've done is we've custom extruded this material so that there's actually ribs going through here, which is in this direction supports the cantilever load here. It also has these struts, but along here it has the same extrusion, so we get the ability to firmly attach the frame to the frame, and you get this a super strong attachment system, which makes it really, really rigid. Secondarily, I don't know if you can see in here, you can come in here, but you can see we made a really brilliant little channel for all the cables and everything to run. So most people who do front cargo racks really screw up how you do your wiring, especially on an e-bike. You're going to end up with wires crossed and broken and whatever, and we got to make sure that we take good care of our wires and our routing. So that's a critical thing. You watch as I turn the handlebars. There's no issue. Everything moves in there. So that's your core basic issues around the front of this. The last thing I'll say is it actually is sized to fit perfectly with the Wald 157. So for the people who love a basket, it's a really cool way to do. You can just mount this on there, and then the 157 just drops on, and you have a tremendous amount of cargo carrying capacity for a really reasonable price. So that's the first piece, and this retails for $250. Mounts on most of the new models of the Edgerunner, and going forward it'll mount on all the Edgerunner models. That's the Porter Rack. The Porter Pack is really the sort of icing on the top, but it's turned out to be an awesome design project in itself. So let me show you a little bit how that works. I've got this in the open position now, so I'm just going to close it up real quick so you can kind of get the full view in. So when you take it off the bike, it's not that common. It's made to really stay on the bike. It's made to have a weather resistant deal. So it's got a little handle here. It makes it easy to carry it alongside you. It also has the D-rings. If you want to put a shoulder strap on there, you can just carry it alongside. I recently went on a trip and I used this as basically my carry-on bag. It was pretty awesome. It worked really great because I had a place to store all the stuff. You got the 3 pockets here, 2 pockets on this side, so you can kind of I put my U-lock on here, and then you've got little pockets here. So lots of great options with that. Now I'm going to show you how it goes on the bike. Kind of the innovation here is to make it really seamless. So this opens up as a sleeve, and it just slips right. So I'll show you the sleeve like that. So it just slips right on like this. slides right onto the rack. And then what the cool thing is, you just grab these under here and it clips up on. When you close this up, it'd be almost impossible for somebody to figure out how to take it off because it's all covered up, right? So get this one latched on too. So what you see is you've got, I mean, just a tremendous amount of capacity now. Like I said, the lock goes in here, power bars, cookie, whatever you want to keep in there to kind of coffee.
Great coffee location.
Yeah, well, the coffee location that's best is this one right here. The reason why I like it is it's right in front of you. This bar is kind of messing with it, but
That's even better.
But you can see it's got a little drain hole in the bottom because all the coffee always spills, so it's easy to rinse it out. It's actually one cool thing is we put this little leash on here, so literally you can hold it with one hand and tighten it in there. So because you're always trying to ride and do other things, so you know, not recommended, but anyway, you'll see. So that's that option. And then what I really love about it is the truth of it is when you're riding a bike daily, you know, you're not out for a race ride. You got your keys with you, you got your wallet with you. So this iPhone 6 and other fat phones fit in there really nicely. I like to do it where I put the speaker up and then I can listen to my podcast while I ride. It's like kind of right at my ear level. So that's good, or my earphones come out of there. I put my keys on the other side, so to just get my keys out of my pocket, my wallet, everything can go in there. It can just make for a much more comfortable ride. When I arrive, I can just pull the stuff out, put it back in my pocket. So that's kind of how these guys work. Really nice neoprene. It's all set up to be outdoors, so this drains out, you know, so it's all thought through from that perspective. Now I'm going to talk about the inside of it. This is a highly featured bag, so it's a little bit of a long thing, but anyway, if you can hang with me here, I'll show you. So this is the zipper. As you can see, we spent the money to get a quality waterproof zipper. It also has these stays in here. I don't know if you can see them, but essentially there's an aluminum stay running through here. And what's important about that is it keeps water from sinking in, and all water will permeate any fabric if you let it there long enough. So we kind of prevent that by having this tent structure across the top. So you open it up, and this is kind of where it's kind of got this multifunctional convertible feature. So anybody you talk to, I'll say, you know, my highest design value is what I call multifunctional utility. And so when it comes to multifunction, this bag is just awesome. So first and foremost, you got a divider in here with some nice pockets. Can you see that okay? Yeah, so this can of course be removed. But I used to always get the question, you know, when I go to the farmer's market, where do I put my tomatoes? Where do I put my berries? Stuff that could kind of get crushed by other stuff. So this divider basically helps you kind of keep your fragile stuff in there. It's actually padded out on the inside, which makes it a little bit insulated as well. But it's got a structure to it that'll keep stuff from crushing each other. So that's kind of this big cargo space. But then what I also realize is that sometimes you're riding home, you got a big load on the back, and you still want to carry your 2 bags of groceries, like if you have your 2 kids on the back, for instance. So that's the people who are really loving this, because you realize that when you it is possible actually, no matter, even with a huge long tail with all the cargo space, you can actually overfill this thing. So what I put in was this skirt, which is a really awesome feature. So what you can do is you can basically load up 2 bags of groceries, you know, quite tall, but now you cinch it in, and it basically still allows you to steer the bike while keeping your apple from ejecting out the top. So I've gone so far as to say in a pinch, you know, you can pull this off and wear it as a mini skirt because it zips out. So this is what it looks like when you zip it out, real quick zip out. And you can kind of look inside of there. So kind of optionally, you can keep the stash, you know, in the pocket if you want to have it available for you at a later moment.
It's huge.
It's a super functional, really just, I mean, it's this kind of crazy accessory that ends up, I miss it when I'm on a bike that doesn't have it. I'm like, I find myself
Having something up front, like in forward of you, it's just such a convenient place to have. Like when you're on a ride or wherever, it's just another way to keep using bikes as a utility vehicle. And guys, what you've always done better than anyone that I know of, so it's a really good job.
I mean, I used to always say, like, if you got plenty of space in the rear, that's the best place to carry cargo, but up to a certain amount of weight, and I feel like this is kind of your max you would want to carry on a bike. And certainly you're going to want to, if you're going to want to truly be honest and serious about carrying cargo on a bike, you're going to want to, on the front of a bike, you want to have it be frame mounted. So this is the optimized design for that, and we've got patent pending on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Ross.
All right, thanks, Troy.